Dude, I have been on the struggle bus for real. I spent the last 5 minutes looking for the icon for Streamlabs on my desktop. You gotta see this, hold on. Okay, so here's my new wallpaper. Hello, Mr. Edgar. Um, I can't find the icon. Do you see it for Streamlabs? I, I don't know why I'm having such trouble. Maybe it's not even there. I ended up having to use the Windows thing and typing in Streamlabs and it was there, but God. Anyway, so back to the topic at hand. I have been on the struggle bus for probably the last few weeks, and it's not so much about not knowing what to do. I have plenty to do. I have a lot to do. The problem is not wanting to do it. I have started 3 different videos and then I stopped because I just didn't feel like they were, I didn't feel like it. It wasn't even feel like they were good. I just didn't feel like it. Um, and you can see my desk is back to its lovely decoration of food. I had waffles for breakfast and now some protein. So I figured that on this wonderful Tuesday morning, I would catch you all up on what's been going on, what we have done so far this year, and what is planned. So, how am I doing? Mentally, physically, and if you want to talk spiritually, sure. Um, Mentally, I have been doing a lot better. Well, maybe not a lot better, but I've been doing better. The way I planned out this year has worked a lot better for me. I don't know what Neville is trying to sniff at. But anyway, it has worked out better for me, so my mental health feels better. Unfortunately, I've been dealing a lot with um, insurance issues and prior authorizations and medications, and it's been a challenge. So, some of my medications I've not been able to take for the last couple of weeks, and that's kind of scary. Physically, I'm doing better. Beginning of the year was a little rough, and then it got worse, and then worse, and then finally, um, I started a medication that, or at first I got off of a medication that was making things difficult for me, or more difficult for me, and then I got on a different medication. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to tell you what I was on or what I'm taking now, but it has helped tremendously. Um, a lot of the pain that I was experiencing has diminished. You can't seem to settle. Okay. A lot of the pain that I had seems to have diminished quite a bit. I'm back at my baseline level of like a 4 pain scale instead of it being like an 8 every morning. Um, I'm about to make Neville move because he is entirely too fidgety, but he loves his mama so much. Um, One of the things that I have tried this year is a max of 5-hour workday. Um, there are some days where I don't work more than an hour or more than like 5 minutes. Um, I've been learning to listen to what I need, listening to my body, listening to my brain, and it's been a challenge, but I feel like I've gotten a lot better with it. And so at the beginning of the year, I set a max number of hours that I would work each day, and that was 5. So like I started work today at 10 a.m. and I will stop 5 hours later at the max. It will probably be sooner than that, but um, that's what I'm working with, and it seems to have helped me, which is good. So my business progress. This is kind of late in the video, but if you all don't know, I own a business called Upper Room Prints. It is a business that specializes in handmade stationery and um, gifts and fiber arts, and I'm considering moving also towards some ceramics or clay, but I haven't made up my mind yet. Um, and so far this year, I've released one full collection. It's called A Garden Party. It came out in March. I set up this goal in the beginning of January, like probably like January 1st, honestly, where I wanted to have everything for the year planned out. Um, and I did. There have been changes. I was originally going to have another release coming out like now, um, but instead I am doing a Kickstarter. But let me back up first to A Garden Party. A Garden Party came out in March, I think it was March 5th to be exact. And I was able to finish everything for that release by the end of January. So I had all of February to just do um, social media planning and have everything ready and prepped so that um, I would have hopefully more eyes on the products. I do believe it worked. I do believe it did. I had quite a few more orders on my online store than I've had in past instances. Um, I've also been working on my SEO, search engine optimization for those that don't know, for my website, and I think that has helped as well. That actually leads into a video that I had planned on doing on how to use ChatGPT to enhance your search engine optimization, but that was, like I said, I have been lacking in motivation to do videos. So, but anyway, it felt amazing to actually have the collection done and ready to go. It, I was the most nervous I've ever been. Um, but it was successful. Um, and the way I define success isn't in monetary goals or the number of orders. It's for me that I was able to reach my community and that I was able to share what I was working on and creating. The orders and things like that were a cherry on the top or a bonus. The only issue I really had about having everything done so early, it gave me the opportunity to fight my inner demons to make more stuff. I also set a goal for myself that I would make more than 5 to 6 items per collection. And that is really difficult for me to stick to. Back in, I think it was October, November of last year, I made over 20 items for the holiday release. And I just, I overdid it. I burned myself out afterwards. And I just was like, I'm determined not to do that again. So it was difficult not to just keep adding things, but I did manage to do it. I only kept those specific items for that collection, um, which I felt good about and I feel good about. It did, however, leave space also for me to decide when to do the Kickstarter. And like I said originally, I was going to have another release coming out in May, um, but then I was looking at the Kickstarter that I wanted to do, and I wanted it to come out around or be available um, after the Kickstarter hopefully gets supported or backed. It would become available in autumn, so our August release. And in order to do that, I would need to focus on those items over focusing on a summer launch. And summer is notoriously slow. So I figured it would be a good idea to just let that drop. I can do it next year, change it a little bit, um, so that it fits next year's theme. And hopefully, it'll work out. But I've been focusing instead on my Kickstarter. Like I said, it's coming out May 1st. It is a Mr. Grumps inspired autumn Kickstarter with a bunch of wooden pins and stickers, like ki- uh, sticker sheets, um, and a banner and things like that. So I'm really excited about it. I hope it gets backed. I hope the tariffs don't kill it before it starts. So we'll see. We'll see. I stated earlier that I was doing something different in regards to my launches, and that is marketing and social media. I have been working a lot more consistently, or working on my consistency with social media posting. I do have dips, of course, every once in a while, and it's fine, but I am continually trying to remind my audience and the public that I am here and that I have wonderful products, as well as just letting people know what's going on with my life and with the staff's life. I actually don't have any of the staff near me right now. That is very, very strange. And especially after Neville left. But it has helped. I've been working on making sure that I'm posting Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikToks. I seem to always forget to post um, things on TikTok as well as YouTube Shorts. I don't know why. I'll make a reel and then it'll just sit on Instagram and that's it. But I have other places that people see me, so I need to remember to do that more often. I have also been trying to send out at least one newsletter a month. Um, if you didn't know, my newsletter subscribers get 10% off their first order. And, it's just something just to say thank you. They also receive a free digital wallpaper for their phone or tablet each quarter. Last quarter was Mr. Grumps looking over a teacup, and this quarter is Edgar the Gentleman Frog that you saw on my desktop uh, analyzing a dandelion. So, um, I've been trying to, build up that newsletter uh, family or whatever you want to call it. I do believe it's helping. I am trying to make sure I don't look too closely at the numbers, but I'm human. So you might be wondering what has been taking up most of my attention. That would be my new hyperfixation of writing. I, when I was a teenager, I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write novels, and I used to write poems all the time. I have notebooks and notebooks filled, or at least I used to. I don't think I have them anymore. Filled of poems and things I used to write. I used to be part of a literary magazine in high school. I just loved to write. It was a way for me to create a world that I could share with others. So, about 10 years ago, I had this dream and it stuck with me. It has stuck with me over and over again to the point where finally I sat down about 2.5, 3 weeks ago and I just needed to get it out. What actually started it was I was having one of those bored moments I was talking about where I had nothing else that I needed to do. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I will just, you know, chat with ChatGPT. What else am I going to do, right? So I put in my last name and I asked it to give me, I think it's called an anagram, um, of different ways to use that name. And if you don't know, my last name is Christian. And it gave me a bunch of different ones that were kind of like fun. Some were funny, some were like, didn't look like a word at all. And then it gave me this word called Isranthic. And for some reason, that word re-triggered the dream in my head that I had. And I got on this huge kick and this hyper fixation, as an autistic person does occasionally. And I have been writing non-stop for the last 2.5, 3 weeks. I have an entire series planned. Um, I'm not going to tell you what it's about yet, but I'm only like 2 chapters away from actually finishing this first book. That's how quickly I've been writing. And it's like a catharsis for me to get this all out, and it has been absolutely amazing. Um, I will probably make another Instagram account for just my writing, um, but I will share it as well on this channel, because why not, right? But I am really enjoying it. I'm loving the time that I'm doing with it. Um, I've been trying to pace myself, but like I said, it's such a hyperfixation that all I really want to do is write. So like I said, once again, I'm listening to my body, I'm listening to my brain, and if that's what I want to do, that's what I'm going to do. That's what it wants to do, so that's what it's going to do. I'm trying to still make sure that I balance that between my regular business of Upper Room Prints as well as household duties. Um, but it's been a challenge. It's been a real challenge. I think that's part of the reason why I've been struggling so much to make a video, because all I really want to do is write. Just want to write. I don't want to be in front of the camera. So this is difficult today to sit here in front of this camera and talk to it, but I'm doing it. Um, I have finished Act 1 and Act 2 of the book, and I am, like I said, 2 chapters away from finishing Act 3. Last night I was able to actually figure out exactly how I wanted the first book to end, and it's heartbreaking. I even figured out how I want the series to end, and that's even more heartbreaking. Um, but I'm writing grief through the character named Vesa in my book, after my own losses in life. Um, and like I said, it's been very cathartic to do so. I tried to decide if I was going to just do this for myself, if I was going to publish it. Um, I finally decided that I was going to publish, but I'm thinking to go through a small publishing house. Um, because although I'm not like a control freak or anything, I do feel like the amount of work that I've put into this deserves more than an 8% commission. So I'm gonna, after I finish the book and do a final polish, I'm going to submit it to some small publishers and see where we go. So what's next for me and for Upper Room Prints and for everything, I guess, and the staff? Like I said, I have the Kickstarter coming out in May. Um, I'm contemplating doing a birthday box because my birthday is in May as well. I still haven't decided that is if I'm going to do that. I have 3 markets in May, one virtual and 2 in person. I think I have one in June, none in July, one in August, I think one in September, and then I'm not sure about that afterwards. Um, so yes, I'm still doing markets, and yes, I'm still planning on doing them. Um, I'm trying to make sure I take care of myself through the chaos. And I'm sure you all understand what chaos I'm talking about. I am living in Maryland, and Maryland is right next door to DC. So, enough said, right? I think the only thing I didn't mention was the new series that I have going on my YouTube channel, and I will continue doing those. They're called Behind the Prints. I've released the first one. It was with my dear friend Ripley, and it is out now. I loved it. It was so much fun to create. It was nerve-wracking at first, but after talking to them for a little while, it felt like it flowed, and I was just having another chat that I would have with them anyway. So that is going on. I'm going to do it at minimum 2 um, chats or podcasts a month. The next one that's coming up is with a US based, and then I have another UK based person the month afterwards, and then another US based. So I'm kind of trying to go international and US and give us some real like insight for small businesses, especially in this time that we're going through right now, because it's a lot different than it has been in the past. But I think that is it. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me, um, minus the staff. If you want to see more or you feel like you want to stick around, please do so. and I hope I see you all next time.